Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to a very victorious baseball edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. I am Taylor Phillips. You can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Tigers take 2 out of 4 from the Twins, including a 3-0 victory earlier today to clinch their 4th American League Central Division championship. When they should have a month ago. Of course, a lot of Tigers fans expect this team to clinch it with a better record, technically, especially with all the talent that they have, including Miguel Cabrera, of course, Justin Verlander, new closing pitcher Joe Nathan, who obviously blew 7 saves in the regular season but finished strong, as we expected. And we know that 7 saves was worse than 7 blown saves was worse than 5, which Valverde blew in 2013 or 12. But the Tigers hung in there, so and they clinched it. So that doesn't matter, because anything can happen in the postseason. Tigers have proved that they are better than the Twins, although Joe Mauer has been one of their prime nemeses, bashing Tigers pitching all over the place, lifetime. But they've got him out too, so Joe Mauer is human. He's great on both sides of the diamond, but he's not perfect. Nobody is. I mean, he's a very tough out, but the Tigers can get him out, like every other team can. The Tigers first took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, and then they took Thursday's game four to 2. Then they get routed in both the next 2 games, 11 to 4 and 12 to 3. But pending the standings, the Tigers were still 1 game ahead of the Royals after they lost to the White Sox 5 to 4 last night, just barely. when the White Sox led 4-0 early in that contest at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. So that left the door open for the Tigers to try to clinch the AL Central with a win over the Twins earlier today, and they shut them out 3-0. So then it did not matter what the Royals did today. They won 6-4, of course. Scoring summary today: Ian Kinsler hit a solo home run. In the bottom of the third inning. I think I remember it was the third inning. Let's check and see here. By the way, you can call in at 646-478-4837. I want to write this down. 646-478-4837. And of course, Kinsler hit his home run in the third inning, then got an RBI single in the 8th inning, followed by a Torrey Hunter RBI sacrifice fly in that inning, making it 3-0. And David Price struck out eight Twins batters and made some history here. David Price reached the 270 strikeout career strikeout plateau. Once again, 646-478-4837 is the number to call to be on the show. Tigers finish a game ahead, finish the regular season a game ahead in the American League Central Division. That is their Again, that is their fourth straight American League Central Division championship clinched, this time with Brad Ausmus as their manager at the helm. David Price's seventh strikeout notched his 270th career strikeout. He finishes with the regular season with 271 in his career and counting, starting next regular season. And I want to get to something here. You know, I haven't heard much of it lately, but in the past. But I'll bet there's some Tigers fans somewhere in society that are saying that the Twins are still just too good for the Tigers. Is it just because of Joe Mauer? I mean, come on.
That's not what I want to hear. What's your problem there, pal? Can't a guy get a bit of sleep? Don't bug me.
I mean, it's just Joe Mauer, guys. Come on. The Twins have bad pitching and bad defense. They have good offense, but that does not mean that Rick Porcello and Kyle Lobstein should have let the Twins score that many runs, outscoring the Tigers 23-7 in Fridays and Saturdays contests. That should not have happened at all. Anybody who keeps saying that sounds ridiculous and needs to at least go to MLB.com and look at the standings. If I were to tell them to go back to school, I would exaggerate, but I'm not going to do that. That would make it sound too personal, and that's not good. For the show. Tigers take on the Orioles next in the American League Division Series. Luckily, the Tigers don't have to travel out west like they did the past two postseasons when they had to take on the Oakland Athletics and beat them both series in 5 games. First in 2012, the Tigers blew a 2-0 series lead and still won Game 5 6-0 with Justin Verlander pitching a complete game shutout. And then last year in 2013, the Athletics put up a heck of a fight, taking a 2-1 series lead, but the Tigers came back and showed them what they were made of with an 8-6 victory in Game 4 at home, and then barely hanging on for a 3-0 victory in Oakland in Game 5. With Joaquin Benoit getting the save, almost pitching a 1-2-3 inning. After Justin Verlander pitched 8 innings, when Jim Leyland should have let Verlander pitch a complete game shutout like he did in 2012. Game 5 of the ALDS. But this one's a bit more of a challenge for the Tigers. They take on the Baltimore Orioles in this year's 2014 American League Division Series. The Orioles have tied the Washington Nationals for the best record in the majors with the best record in the American League, 96-66. They finished 12 games flat ahead of the New York Yankees in the American League East Division. And the Orioles have Buck Showalter as their manager. They've got Chris Davis, Nick Markakis, Matt Wieters, by the way, David Price finished 7 1/3 shutout innings. And Java Chamberlain got the job done cleanly, and so did Joe Nathan in today's game. By the way, as I wait for the Orioles. They got Steve Clevenger as their catcher. They got J.J. Hardy, Alexei Casilla, Ryan Flaherty in the infield, Jonathan Shoup, Christian Walker. Heck, they've got Nelson Cruz. They got former Tiger Quentin Berry. Yikes. Born the same year I was, 1984. Alejandro De Aza, Adam Jones, David Lowe, Steve Pearson, Delman Young, another former Tiger, and another former Tiger, Andrew Miller, a left-handed pitcher. The Tigers drafted him. Bud Norris, Joe Saunders, Chris Tillman, Zach Britton, Wei-Yin Chen, Miguel Gonzalez, Tommy Hunter, Ubaldo Jimenez. Lots of talented players on this Orioles roster. T.J. McFarland, Evan Meek, and Ryan Webb. I don't have the times yet for each game in the American League Division Series matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles. But I can tell you that Game 1 starts on Thursday, and it will be televised on TBS as October 2nd. By the way, the Kansas City Royals will take on the Oakland Athletics in the wild card divisional playoff game, and the winner thereof will take on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the winners of the American League West Division. The wild card game begins Tuesday. Tigers and O's will have to get reacquainted in the American League Division Series. Trying to figure out the season series this year between the two. Pardon me. Tigers swept the Orioles in Baltimore and apparently took 2 out of 3 from the O's at Comerica Park. And indeed, it was a 5-1 season series win for the Tigers over the O's. 3 keys for the Tigers in the American League Division Series against the Orioles. Number one, first and foremost, pitch carefully to Nelson Cruz. He has 14 career home runs in 137 postseason at-bats. His Major League best 40 home runs in the regular season include one off of a Verlander breaking ball near the ankles that he essentially golfed into the Camden Yards seats. With Chris Davis out until at least the ALCS, the emphasis becomes even greater. Adam Jones has hit the Tigers well over the years. 306 lifetime, 8 for 23 with 5 runs scored and 4 RBIs this year. But Cruz is the one hitter who can truly change a game with one swing, and has changed Tigers' postseason fortunes that way. The Tigers can generally live with Cruz singles, but they have to keep him in the park. The Orioles have a dominant. Number 2, do your damage early. The Orioles have a dominant late game relief trio and closer Zach Britton and setup men Tommy Hunter and Darren O'Day. The primary reasons why Baltimore owns the third best ERA among AL bullpens and led the league in saves this year. Opponents are batting .216 against the O's from the 8th inning on. The Tigers won a game in Baltimore in May with late inning heroics from Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez. And number 3, take advantage of Sanchez and Soria. The Joe Nathan became Detroit's closer, but the bullpen is finished strong, but still has a ways to go after struggling the first half of the season after starting off the season 35-5. Anibal Sanchez will start in the bullpen after becoming the odd man out of the starting pitching rotation when the regular season ended, when he was injured with a pectoral muscle strain. So that's it. That's gonna do it for the baseball edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. I'll talk to you next week at Sunday at 11. TTFN, ta-ta for now.